Manliness means perfect manhood, as womanliness implies perfect womanhood. Manliness is the character of a man as he ought to be, as he was meant to be. It expresses the qualities which go to make a perfect man: truth, courage, conscience, freedom, energy, self-possession, and self-control. But it does not exclude gentleness, tenderness, compassion, and modesty. A man is not less manly, but more so because he is gentle. In fact, our word gentleman shows that a typical man must also be a gentleman. By manly qualities, the world is carried forward. The manly spirit shows itself in enterprise, the love of meeting difficulties and overcoming them, the resolution that will not yield, which patiently perseveres and does not admit the possibility of defeat. It enjoys hard toil, rejoices in stern labor, and is ready to make sacrifices, to suffer and bear disaster patiently. It is generous, giving itself to a good cause not its own. It is public-spirited, devoting itself to the general good with no expectation of reward. It is ready to defend unpopular truth, to stand by those who are wronged, and to uphold the weak. Having resolved, it does not go back, but holds on, through good report and evil, sure that the right must win at last. And so it causes truth to prevail and keeps up the standard of a noble purpose in the world. In a recent awful disaster amid the blackness and darkness and tempest, the implacable sea and the pitiless storm, when men's hearts were failing them from terror, and women and children had no support but faith in a divine providence and a coming immortality, the dreadful scene was illuminated by the courage and manly devotion of those who risked their own lives to save the lives of others. Such heroism is like a sunbeam breaking through the tempest. It shows us the real worth there is in man. No matter how selfish mankind may seem, whenever hours like these come which try men's souls, they show that the age of chivalry has not gone, that though the knights are dust and their good swords rust, there are as high-hearted heroes now as ever. Firemen rush into a flaming house to save women and children. Sailors take their lives in their hands to rescue their fellow men from a wreck. They save them at this great risk, not because they are friends or relatives, but because they are fellow men. Courage is an element of manliness. It is more than readiness to encounter danger and death, for we are not often called to meet such perils. It is everyday courage which is most needed, that which shrinks from no duty because it is difficult, which makes one ready to say what he believes when his opinions are unpopular, which does not allow him to postpone a duty, but makes him ready to encounter it at once. A courage which is not afraid of ridicule when one believes himself right, which is not the slave of custom, the fool of fashion. It does not see display. It is often the courage of silence no less than speech. It is modest courage, unpretending though resolute. It holds fast to its convictions and principles, whether men hear or whether they forbear. Truthfulness is another element of true manliness. Lies usually come from cowardice because men are afraid of standing by their flag, because they shrink from opposition, or because they are conscious of something wrong which they cannot defend, and so conceal. Secret faults, secret purposes, and habits of conduct of which we are ashamed lead to falsehood, and falsehood is cowardice. Therefore, if we wish to be manly, we must not do anything of which we are ashamed. He who lives by firm principles of truth and right, who deceives no one, injures no one, who therefore has nothing to hide, he alone is manly. The bad man may be audacious, but he has no true courage. His manliness is only a pretense, an empty shell, a bold demeanor, with no real firmness behind it. True manliness differs also from the false in its attitude towards woman. Its knightly feeling makes it wish to defend her rights, to maintain her claims, to be her protector and advocate. False manliness wishes to show its superiority by treating women as inferiors. It flatters them, but it does not respect them. It fears their competition on equal levels and wishes to keep them confined, not within walls, but behind the more subtle barriers of opinion, prejudice, and supposed feminine aptitudes. True manliness holds out the hand to woman and says, "Do whatever you are able to do, whatever God meant you to do. Neither you nor I can tell what that is till all artificial barriers are removed and you have full opportunity to try." Manly strength respects womanly purity, sympathy, and grace of heart. And this is the real chivalry of the present hour. Masculinity is not something given to you, but something you gain. And you gain it by winning small battles with honor. Norman Mailer.